Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out I didn't know these British words before moving to the UK. American in the UK.
And so to say fortnight to an American really could be anything. Honestly, it could be referring to a night at the fort for all we know. Hi and welcome to the Girl Gone.
Fortnite. I think of a video game.
Could be anything. Honestly, it could be referring to a night at the fort for all we know. Hi and welcome to the Girl Gone London channel. In today's episode, we're talking about British words or phrases that I had never heard before moving to the UK. The first word on my list, or I guess...
She gets into it quick, this one she does. This is Kaylin, she's great. Be sure to go to Girl Gone London and like and subscribe, y'all. I've watched a lot of videos about the language difference between America and the United Kingdom. And I feel like I've heard it all, you know? How many more could there be? I'm curious to see what she says. I don't know how she's laying this stuff out, but as soon as she says the word, I'm going to stop it and see if I can search my brain for a memory of what it might mean. Let's go.
Multiple words, phrase is wheelie bins.
Wheelie bins. Wheelie bins. I think it's a wheelbarrow. Is that a wheelbarrow? Wheelie bin. I think it's a wheelbarrow.
Americans don't really call them wheelie bins, and if you're British, you know exactly what a wheelie bin is. We talk about them oddly a lot on this channel, and I would say that not all bins or trash cans or garbage cans in America actually do have wheels. I've definitely lived in places where the standard garbage can doesn't have wheels. You kind of just drag it, but many do have wheels, but even so, we don't call it a wheelie bin because we don't call it a bin, and we call it just like a garbage can or a trash can.
Yeah. Why don't we distinguish that it has wheels on it? Why don't we distinguish? I guess we would call it a garbage can with wheels. Or a rolling garbage can. I don't know. Garbage can. So weird. I like the word wheelie bin, though. It's fun to say. It does sound very British. Wheelie bin. Okay. All right.
We don't call it a bin, and we'd call it just like a garbage can or a trash can. The next phrase on my list is the phrase, "What are you on about?"
What are you on about? Okay. I think this would be, to an American, it would be like saying, what are you talking about? If someone's saying some random or something that doesn't make sense, what are you talking about? I think that's what this means. Americans
don't tend to say this. We would say something like, "What are you talking about?" But the phrase, "on about," I don't know what you're on about, or "what are you going on about," is really kind of a Britishism that isn't used as much in the US. Now, many Americans could probably figure out what you mean, but I've also read stories online of people having no idea, because in America, the phrase "on something" is maybe you're on some sort of medications, or you're on top of something. So the phrase, "what are you on about," just doesn't translate as much.
What are you on about? What are you on about? What are you on about? Like, what are you on about? Like, are you on about, like, Tylenol or other things? I don't know. What's a more powerful drug that I can say on YouTube?
You're on top of something. So the phrase, "what are you on about," just doesn't translate as much. The next one is the British use of the word Fortnite.
Okay. Yeah, it is the name of a video game. I know that. Not that out of touch. Although I am out of touch. I think it means 40 days, right? I feel like the word fortnight is used in the Gettysburg Address, and that's probably where I heard about it. Is it? Wait, is it? Oh my God, if it's not, y'all. I'm a bad American. Oh no, 7. Yeah, it's not in the... 4. Okay. Yeah, no, fortnight's not in the Gettysburg Address. I'm a bad American. 4. Okay. Fortnight. Is it 40 days? I don't know. Let's see.
Many Americans have absolutely no idea what this means. And a fortnight in the UK refers to 2 weeks. There's really no context clues here, and so to say fortnight to an American really could be anything.
Okay. That does make sense. It's a shortened version of 14 nights, I guess. I didn't know it was 2 weeks. Wow. Okay.
It could be referring to a night at the fort for all we know. So this is very helpful to know if you work with any American colleagues or maybe are contacting an American business, that if you say the word fortnight, you're probably going to have to explain yourself and should say something like 2 weeks or every 2 weeks or something like that. Now the next word on my list, and this kind of refers to a lot of different words, but I'll use the example of the word whilst.
whilst. I think it means like at the same time. Jack was doing this whilst Jill was doing that. They were doing different things at the same time, right? Whilst? We don't really use that word, though. I think if I used that word, people would look at me like, who do you think you are? Fancy boy.
So in America, we don't do the ST at the end. So in the phrase, whilst you were out, we would say while you were out.
Same.
And we would think of whilst as being an incorrect term. It's not a word that's used in the US. The next one on my list is the word sweets.
Sweets. Oh, okay. I think it means pretty much anything with sugar in it, right? Pastries, candy, cake. I think that I think that's what it means.
Americans do know the phrase sweet. Basically everything that you eat in America is sweet. But we don't say sweets. We would say candy or candies. And this also kind of goes along with like the nickname for sweets where people say like sweeties. It does not translate in the US. We wouldn't really know what you were talking about. Whereas...
Wait, so it doesn't mean pastries and cakes and stuff?
This is a very commonly used word in the UK, especially around kids who are eating candy or sweets. And the next on my list...
Okay, it just means candy. I didn't think I would be learning this much, y'all.
...is the word coach, not me.
Coach. Okay, well that has at least a couple meanings in my mind. Like the coach of a team, or to advise someone, or the lower class of an airplane. I think that's what I meant.
Meaning this kind of coach, because Americans know what that is, but the word coach meaning like a large bus. And as opposed to something like a public bus, a coach...
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I guess like a charter bus, like a big, huge bus. Like a nice one, though. A coach. No, I've heard that before.
In the UK typically refers to a large bus that is hired to take people on like a longer journey, like a coach trip from London to Manchester or something like that. Americans would just view this also as a bus. So we would say bus for a more local public transportation kind of bus, and we would say bus for something that Brits call a coach. So if you say to an American that you are going to hire a coach, they're probably going to think you're going to hire one of these for whatever activity you're trying to do. You're going to have to explain the word coach as it relates to transportation.
Yeah, I would totally think they meant like a team coach. Totally.
Another interesting British phrase that we don't use as often in the US is to do up a house.
Do up a house. Yeah. Does it mean like refurbish a house? Or clean a house? Restore a house? Do up a house. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that.
So it's just the kind of term of to do up. So an American would say something like, I'm going to renovate my house. We do have the term fixer-upper, so they might say I'm going to fix up my house, or I'm going to renovate my house. But the term I'm going to do up a house, or like do up your coat or something like that is not a phrase commonly used in America. We would tend to be more specific, so we wouldn't say do up your coat. We would say zip your coat. Another British...
Oh. It could also mean zip up. Okay. I thought I knew it all. I don't know anything.
Specific, so we wouldn't say do up your coat. We would say zip your coat. Another British phrase that is not commonly heard in America is the term lie-in, to mean...
Lie-in. Okay. I do know what this means. I'm pretty sure I do. Only because I saw a Paul McCartney interview where he said that on Saturday mornings, he used to have a Saturday morning lie-in and listen to the radio. And I think he meant like where you just lay in bed and just kind of lounge in bed on a Saturday morning. I think that's what he means. A lie-in?
Sleeping in. To have a lie-in.
Wait, are you sleeping when you lie in? Or are you just laying there?
And this is interesting because in many places in America, we would say, oh, I'm going to sleep in tomorrow, or I'm going to get to sleep in. We wouldn't necessarily treat it as something that we could have. So we wouldn't say that we were going to have a sleep in, like you would say in the UK that you're going to have a lie-in. If we work at a zoo, we might say that we get to have a lie-in, but we're not going to say that we get to have a lie-in. The next word on my list is Moreish, meaning...
Moreish. Oh my gosh. Moreish. Okay. What's coming to mind is Moorish, as in the Moors. And it's Moreish. Oh wait, that one would be right. Moreish. Do they mean just a little more? I don't know.
Meaning basically something that you just can't stop eating and you want more of. It's a great British word. It's just not really used that much in the US. We would say something like, oh, I find it addictive. And the last...
Oh, Moorish. What? I'm a little confused about how that would be used in a phrase. Having a very pleasant taste and making you want to eat more. These peanuts are very Moorish, aren't they? Wow, I've never heard that. I like it though. It's very Moorish. I like it.
It's a great British word. It's just not really used that much in the US. We would say something like,
Never.
oh, I find it addictive. And the last word on my list is the word scheme. Now,
Scheme? S-C-H-E-M-E? Okay. That means like a plan, but it has a negative connotation, like it's a secret plan. A scheme. Like a con. Like a trick. You're trying to trick somebody. That's what I think it means.
there are multiple definitions for scheme, but in the UK, the one that Americans don't use is like a government scheme, or a pension scheme, or a graduate scheme. Scheme in the UK can sort of refer to what an American might call like a program. If you use the word scheme in America, you're really talking about scheming. So it's kind of like the villain, how the villain schemes in a movie to get what they want. We would say the internship program or the government program, or I'm trying to think of other words that would be used instead of scheme. But definitely there's a lot of like schemes in the UK, and they're not bad things. It's just like, I don't know, it's just a government scheme.
Yeah, if someone said this is a government scheme, I would think, oh, so it's bad? I shouldn't do it?
As Americans tend to think of the word as kind of a bad thing, like a Ponzi scheme, like there's some sort of malicious intent to it.
Yes.
So that brings me to the end of this video. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.
Y'all be sure to go to Girl Gone London and like and subscribe. I learned so much watching these videos. I had no idea. I've started reacting to more music documentaries because I feel like I've heard all these different slang words, but I haven't. There's still more to learn. We're still doing this, y'all. Wild. So different, yet so similar. Right? In it. Scheme. Wow. Well, y'all, I'd like to thank my patrons. I'd like to thank my Buy Me a Coffee folks. Thank y'all for watching this with me. And I'll see you next time. Hope you're staying warm. Later.